world's hottest technology show is here. 12 teams from 6 countries will battle it out over 10 business challenges that await technology solutions. Only one team will take home the $25,000 cash prize and claim the winning title of Season 3 of CapGemini Super Techies Show. On the show today, Team Uppsala Elite Crew from Sweden, and competing with them, Team OTB Thinkers from India. Presenting them with the challenge today is Atul Tiwari, Chief Operating Officer, quikr.
Hello and welcome to Season 3 of the CapGemini Super Techies Show. I'm Abhimanyu Radhakrishnan.
And I'm Renee Chambers.
So this is the show where you get to be a part of the business challenges being given to some of the most promising techies from around the world by the biggest and most iconic of global brands.
For the first time on the Super Techie Show, we have invited university students to compete with experienced technology professionals on the very same challenges. What's left to see is who will outperform the other and walk away with the crown of the Super Techies.
And to do that, Ronette, they have to get through a series of rounds. It starts with our 6 league rounds, from which 2 teams each proceed to 3 semi-finals. And from there, 3 winners, in fact, will square off in our grand finale that will be held at CapGemini's Global Learning Hub, the Université La Fontaine in Paris.
Today's episode will determine which team will make the cut to the semi-finals. So let's get straight to action. Here's a look at the story of quikr that is putting today's participants to the test. Inspired by the success of Craigslist, a classifieds website in the USA, Pranay Chule began working on Kijiji, a subsidiary of eBay in India. 6 years later, Kijiji is an independent entity with the popular domain name quikr. Reaching out to 940 cities in India, quikr is the largest online classifieds in the country. It generates 30 million unique user hits every month, all in a bid to buy, rent or sell. The 6-year-old company has caught the eye of investors and is one of the most sought-after entrepreneurial ventures in India's growing e-commerce industry.
It's a place where people come to buy, sell, rent things from each other. It's the largest classifieds company in India. It operates across a variety of categories ranging from real estate to cars to jobs to services, to education and everything in between.
As an online entity, quikr was the first to extend its services to offline users. It has around 4.2 million listings and products in 13 categories and 170 subcategories. To find the exact product among the numerous options could be a task for the customer, and to make this process smooth, quikr has designed today's challenge for the Super Techies. Can a new search model be devised for the website that produces relevant and timely results for the end user?
Okay, so let's meet the 2 teams, Uppsala Elite Crew from Sweden and OTB Thinkers from India, who are going to be faced with today's challenge. And we've got Atul Tiwari, who's COO at quikr, who's going to refresh their memory and take them through it once again.
The challenge for today for both of you is related to our search. So what we want you to do is, when the user is coming onto the platform, to understand the intent of the search happening onto the platform. The platform could be a mobile site, could be a desktop site, or could be a mobile app, and to surface the relevant ads matching the intent of the user.
On seeing the challenge, we are a little excited because this is something which we have not dwelled in the past. So we decided to do some ground research. We put ourselves in the shoes of the eventual customer, and we wanted to go through the experience. And that's where we started seeing solutions coming out.
Taking on the challenge, there was a lot to take in. Like, what sort of problem is this? we had to work with search engines, which both Oscar and I had not that much experience of. So we have to do a lot of research and a lot of comparing to what other sites use and, in theory, what will be the best.
Thank you very much, and hope the best team wins.
After the break, we see the solutions that the team have for the challenge. You're watching Season 3 of the CapGemini's Super Techies show.
Welcome back. You're still watching Season 3 of the CapGemini Super Techies show. The challenge today requires our techies to design a search model for any quikr platform, be it their mobile site, their desktop site, or even their mobile app that will enable their users to choose the best possible product or service by showing the most relevant ads. So please put your hands together for Atul Tiwari, who's COO at quikr. Joining Atul to judge today's teams will be our expert jury member, Anish Sarkar, who is Senior VP and Head of Consulting at CapGemini. Please welcome him on stage. Well, Ronette, the challenge has been set and our jury is waiting. What's the mood like in that team lounge?
Abhimanyu, the teams are waiting with their fingers crossed. Both teams, while working on their solutions, got a chance to get an industry view from a CapGemini expert.
So before we see their solution, let's quickly listen in to the mentor on this episode, and that's Rivon De Silva, who is the Delivery Director for Application Services at CapGemini.
The quikr channel challenge was pretty unique in the sense that it was a search-oriented problem, very common to what we are facing today. And I think both teams were pretty unique in their solution, in their approach, in their thought process. We had global teams participate this time, so it gave a different perspective to the whole team. I believe a lot of mentoring was around the thought process that they would use, the approach.
I'm not going to keep you guys away from the hot chairs any longer. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our famous Super Techies draw. I have two draw cards in front of me. One of them have the CapGemini spade sign. The other one is a complete blank. The team that chooses the CapGemini spade sign will be the one who decides who goes first. Guys, please pick your cards. Blank. OTB thinkers, you guys have the deciding factor on this one. Will you be the first to face the jury, or will your opponents go down first?
We'd like to give the privilege to our opponents.
Guys, are you ready to face the jury?
We're ready.
Good luck and all the best.
Thank you.
Well, both Oscar and I come from the same study program, where we kind of know the broad of IT as well as the details that you need to know. So we can see like the wide solutions and what problems there are.
It's been a lot of information to process, but we managed to come up with quite some good points that I'm pretty confident will improve the current platform of the search engine.
Well, Team Uppsala Elite crew from Sweden, all the best, and whenever you're ready, you may present to the jury.
This is a question of balancing relevance versus recency of an ad. And as for relevance, we want to introduce a Boolean frequency variable that takes on the value of 1 if there is a match between a search term and a word in a string, for instance, the title of an ad or description of the ad. And if there is no match, that variable takes on the value of 0. And we want to do this because we want ads to be ranked equally when it comes to relevance, regardless of how many times the search term appears in the title of the ad. When it comes to recency, we want recency to be of exponential decline, and we want this exponential decline to be based on statistics of when an ad becomes old or when an item becomes sold. quikr is a company that promotes innovation. We first thought of, well, maybe we should come up with something, really innovative here. But then we also thought about the implementation phase. And is it feasible? And how much will it cost? And what's the time to launch the platform?
We also want to reduce the miscategorized ads. So an ad poster might be mistaken or have low knowledge about an item when posting it. It could be a miscategorization or the wrong attributes. So what we want to implement is sort of an add-on functionality to the post page, where the poster gets prompted to type in the item he or she is trying to post, right? Then a drop-down shows up, displaying predefined items in the system that kind of matches, suggestions that matches the entered query. When a poster picks the item, he or she gets directed to a standardized post template, where all the relevant information has already been entered. So there's a proper title, a descriptive title, and in the description is some information already filled out. And we also want to implement additional features for a more complete search experience, such as a spell check and a more like this functionality, where the searcher can get suggested similar items to the search he or she just performed. Our approach is to kind of cover everything that was in the challenge statement. So we looked at different perspectives, very broad, and we try to see how to incorporate everything into one solution.
We want to use a Java-based search engine that's called Solar. Optimized for high-volume web traffic, is linearly scalable, has auto failover and recovery, and has no single point of failure. A website with 32 million unique visitors each day really needs to make sure it has a high capacity. And we also have the high availability, which is really critical for customers to return to the website.
Well, Team Uppsala Elite Crew, thank you so much for that presentation. Atul, any questions for Uppsala Elite Crew?
Yeah, one question which I had was, why have you chosen Solar for your technology solution? Have you looked at any other solution that you feel can also help you give the same results?
As a matter of fact, yes. We've looked into another software as well, which is called Elasticsearch, and it's very similar to Solar. They're both based on the Lucene search library, and they offer pretty much the same functionalities.
When you were preparing your solution to the challenge, did you at any point think of some radically different ways to approach the problem?
This is a very implementable solution. You don't need that much, and it's very proven to be a good functionality as well. So we've taken a good base and we've come up with great solutions to it. For example, this whole posters typing in the item that he or she wants to post. We haven't seen that on any current similar websites. So we've tried to build on a solid ground and make the most innovative solutions out of that. Thank you.
So we're ready now to do the tricky part of quantitatively rating Team Uppsala Elite Crew. And there are in fact 5 parameters on which they will be rated. These parameters are problem comprehension, the innovation in ideation, the feasibility of the solution, presentation skills, and of course the final Q&A.
I think we're doing pretty good. It felt good doing the presentation, and I was a bit worried about the questions at first, but we managed to answer them pretty point on. So I feel comfortable about this.
Well, members of the jury seem to be done with that hard task of scoring. Atul, very quickly, sort of your impressions of their overall solution and your final score.
I think the solution was fairly good. One of the areas that they could have done better would be, I would say, innovativeness. So my final score is a score of 30 on 50. That's the number which I'll be giving to them.
Right. Anish, any comments?
Sure, I like the focus. I think they went straight to the heart of the problem, suggested very practical solutions. Right. My final score is 34.
Well, that puts their total score then at 64 for the Uppsala Elite Crew, which means that 65 is what OTB from India need to get for a spot in that semi-final. Will they be able to do it? We'll know on the other side of this short break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the CapGemini Super Techies Show Season 3.
Welcome back to
to Season 3 of the CapGemini Super Techie Show. Before the break, we had Team Uppsala Elite Crew present their solution to the jury and reached a score of 64 points. Can our second team beat that? Let's find out. Guys, do you have a different approach?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess great job done by the team here, and we have taken a slightly different approach, which we would like to go ahead and present.
Best of luck to you. Let's see if you can reach a higher score than 64 points.
Thank you. Because we believe we have it in us to provide real exciting solutions, solutions which probably business can afford, solutions which will solve complex problems.
Challenges has been very relevant to the current business context, and hence that helps us bring out some additional motivation to address this problem. So to that extent, the challenges have been tough, and hence it actually helped us give better solutions out there.
Vikas, Deepak, Team OTB from India, whenever you're ready, you can address our jury with your presentation.
When we went about with this challenge, we decided to be buyers and sellers. So we went about posting ads and searching ads just like the way anyone would do, keeping the Indian context as well as the demographics in mind. What we realized out of this primary and secondary research is that quikr is really doing well on the structured bit. And there is a huge potential when it comes to unstructured searches. So we are looking at an intelligent-based, intent-based search system. That's where we went about putting up a technology solution which we termed as IBS, intent-based search, which we believe would gradually evolve because as and when the ontologies keep getting refined, this search would become far more powerful, which we believe this platform would scale and it would self-sustain.
Intent-based search largely tries to fine-tune the normal algorithms to specific Indian behavior, and to that extent it was largely relevant considering quikr has 92% of their search coming from India.
Core to these recommendations are three things.
And the first one being Q-rate, which is short for quikr rating system. It is actually a score that helps the seller understand the quality of his ad. The second component to our solution is Q-rank, which is largely ranking all the ads that are listed on a search result. The third component is largely that layer of intelligence that is the bedrock for both the systems to work, and this layer of intelligence has three core database modules. The first one being a set of relationships between all words in English language. This helps us both in terms of translating and understanding various meanings of a specific word and hence search those aspects, as well as ability to correlate ads and based on the way it is articulated by the seller and user. The second component would be Indian taxonomies, so which are very specific to adaptation of English to Indian states, and hence to that extent our algo tries to pick those relationships based on some analysis.
We're also looking at using some of the search terms in your print campaigns wherein people get an immediate connect. Lastly, on the implementation, we believe this would be a 5 to 6 months project, which around close to 600 man days of efforts which should get into it, and I guess the start point would be putting the governance layer.
Right, thank you. Team OTB from India, a very comprehensive solution there, well presented. Members of the jury, I'd like Anish to take the first crack at them.
How will you establish the business case for such radical change with Atul and Pranay?
We are not really redefining the technical architecture of quikr. What we are saying is quikr today uses Solar at an application layer maybe, and then underlying search engine, the core library is USEAM, and there are two components in that search engine. Those are scoring algorithms as well as index. Now all we are trying to do is we are adding few additional feedback loops to these two functions, and everything else will fall into place. Even though our solution was fairly complex, it is comprehensive, and hence they were able to correlate it with the actual business problem.
You talk about ranking and you talk about rating, etc. So if you were to be working from a priority perspective, what is that which you like to do first, which you think is going to create the maximum impact onto the site?
So in the implementation plan which we suggested, I said we need to get immediately started with the governance bit. So clean the existing data which is there, cleanse it, enrich the data. The lower or the easier things to do, get started would be we put the Q rate system, wherein we start controlling the way data flows into the system, and that's where we can get started with, and then go upward with the ontologies, and then the Q rank would gradually build up. So this is a sequence which we've thought we should ideally be going with, and the layer which actually follows it would be a feedback layer which constantly pushes the consumer feedback back into the engine and further refines it.
It's now time to do the difficult part of scoring the team on a 5-point scale. So the scale of grading remains the same as for the previous team.
What I would say stood out in our approach was trying to understand the behavior as well as the motivation of both the buyer and seller, and to that extent we have tried to bring in their intents into our solution.
Well, it seems that the members of the jury have finished with their scoring. I'm going to let Anish start first this time. Quick thoughts on Team OTB's presentation and your score?
Lots of good ideas, thoughts by Team OTB. Not all of them will be easy to implement, I'm sure. But I do feel there would be one or two things at least that you've left Atul to take away from this, from your presentation. So good job, guys. I've scored you 38 on 50.
Yeah, it's a fairly comprehensive solution, given us a lot of thoughts, as Anish just mentioned, that we can definitely take back and look at how we can implement it. Fairly in-depth analysis about what you guys have done. So I will give them a score of 34.
Right, so that puts their grand total at 72, which means Team OTB from India are our winners on this league round.
I guess what really worked for us was the fact that we lived true to our name. We are the OTB thinkers, that is out-of-the-box thinkers, and we tried to use that precisely in the solution and try to make it a little more comprehensive and also implementable.
We really tackled some hard challenges, and I'm pleased with our solution, even though it didn't get us all the way.
Well, tough luck, Team Uppsala Elite crew, but in the meanwhile, I'd like to invite Ronet to come back down so that we can announce the prizes and have a quick chat with our jury members as well. Atul, thanks to you and quikr for posing a great challenge. What do you think was the difference between the two teams at the end of the day?
The out-of-the-box team from India, I think they did a considerable job in going in depth as far as what the problem was. Like the examples that they were saying, that we looked at both from the buyer side and from the seller side posting an ad. I think that gave them a good sense as to what is the experience like when you're trying to come onto the site as a buyer as well as from a seller perspective. And then I hope some of the things that we can implement and make our site even more quicker.
Anish, lastly, just give us an industry view beyond just quikr itself. This whole search market is changing a lot thanks to the impact of social and so much real-time buying happening these days.
Our view is that we're in the midst of a fourth revolution, which is the digital revolution, the last one being the industrial one long back. Certainly e-commerce, and I'm broadening, it's not just search, but the entire e-commerce sector in India, it's the second coming really, the first being, at the beginning of the last decade. But I think if you see the kind of growth it's enjoying, the value it's creating, the kind of talent it's attracting in India today, it's undoubtedly one of the hottest verticals that we have today, for sure.
So, Team OTB Thinkers are the winners of this league round. Remember, as part of this year's show, the teams participating will receive Leading Digital, the all-new CapGemini consulting book on digital transformation, co-written with MIT and published by HBR Press.
And apart from that, the winners on this episode, like all other league round winners, get the latest in wearable technology. They get a cool Goki fitness band each, along with 6 months of virtual trainer subscription. So hopefully they're going to be staying fit in the offline world as well. They go into the semi-finals, and who will join them there? Well, we'll know in future league rounds. So keep tuning in to Season 3 of the CapGemini Super Techies show.